Hello, 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 and welcome back to another Pauper League. Um, Exciting times in the world of carrion feeders and sacrificing small black creatures. There's been another top 8 in a challenge, this time by Medvedev, and then they've changed up the list quite a bit, and so we're going to give this a go. Um, what changes they made to their deck? They've added uh, some nested chamblers, so we're really kind of maximizing the one mana creature that dies makes another creature. Um, they were running three carrion feeders, four infiltrators. I can't get away from carrion feed. The first carrion feeder is so good. There is a point that drawing the second one is quite weak, but I really want to draw the first one as much as I can. Um, they've come off of Reaping the Graves and instead shifted over to Unearth. Um, my take on this is in the main deck, you don't really pay this off. You don't get, you know, return a creature card with mana value 3 or less. A lot of the time, this is 1 mana, get back something that costs 3. However, in this deck, so many of your creatures cost 1 that you're not really kind of getting that value. Um, However, I think it does get paid off a lot more in the sideboard with a Curse Mortar, Mesmeric Fiend. I can see being able to do this, twice on turn 3, actually being very powerful. So we'll give this change a go. It is a big shift to a more aggressive stance as opposed to, what I was running previously with Reaping the Graves, where you get some card advantage. The other shift is they're adding, so 4 Corrupted Commissions, so going up to 8 of these 1 mana sacrifice creature draw 2. Obviously, to pay that off, they're playing more of the creatures that make 2 creatures when they die, and then they've cut the greedy freebooters. Still on 2 Snuff Out to main, 1 Silver Life Staff as kind of a hedge against mono red. If we draw it's good. Sideboard wise, so they're on Silver Life Staff as their life gain of choice, whereas previously I was running Weather the Storm. So my one concern about this is it's quite mana intensive. Oh, sorry, my two concerns are it's quite mana intensive, and red decks will tend to bring Cast into the fire against you. So I think that's why you need 4. I don't think this is a good sideboard option if you're only bringing in 1 or 2. They kept the 2 Snuff Outs, kept the 4 Mesmeric Fiends. They've cut a bunch of the Graveyard Hate for more Recursion Marauders, and I think that they are playing this in many more matchups, so we'll give that a go. I've made a few other tweaks, so as I say, the first week was I've changed a Gixian Infiltrator into the Carrion Feeder. I've cut a Drown in Sorrow for a Death's Head Buzzard. Intention being that this works well with your Unearths, where the Drown in Sorrow doesn't. And this is purely because I want to try it out. They had a Nile Spellbomb. I kind of want to try a creature in that slot. Um, I would normally just play a Rotom Reunion, but whilst I'm trying out new things, I'm going to try this one of Awful Snout because I didn't know this card existed. Um, Obviously, with a creature, we can bring it back, which is quite strong. The evoke means it sacrifices itself, which could also be quite useful. Similar with the what do you call it? Similar with the Rotom Reunion, being able to have a flash creature that you can sacrifice with a carrion feeder is, can get people quite good. This can even get people when you don't have a carrion feeder. Also, we can evoke it in, and then with the evoke trigger on the stack, we sacrifice it to something else. There's potential for some synergies there. So definitely a more aggressive kind of slant on this deck, even more so than the versions I was running last, where I was playing makeshift munitions. Part of that, I'm going to have to try and be disciplined and mulligan a bit more. Mulligan to keep like our good aggressive hands over, whereas being a bit loose. I think that's probably the way to go with this build of the deck. And yeah, the kind of two sides of the coin are: do you want to try and maximize the strengths of this deck, which are these really aggressive starts, and I'm kind of coming more around to the fact that the sideboard is actually a big strength of the deck, that you can have these various creatures in for different matchups that really pay off. Or the alternative is try and kind of have more power effects to weaken your, you know, your worst draws where it doesn't come together or the opponent has more removal. That's what I've been trying with the makeshift munitions. Gonna give this a go because it's got that challenge top 8. I think the exciting thing in times in Monoblack Sacrifice is really not nailed down. I think it probably will look, it might well look something more like this, but there's only one way to find out. So with that, let's jump into a league. So we're on the play in round 1. This is exactly the hand we want to have every time. Well, maybe not exactly. Maybe there's like a slight tweak to make it the best possible hand, but it is not far off. So our opponent has returned. As I say, I think with the Unearth we're more inclined to just jam out. I'm going to lead on the carrion feeder. Opponent has an island and go, so we can Mortician Beetle and then Sage. I'm going to sack the first Sage for an extra point and to make a flyer. In case they're on fairies, I'm not going to plan to sack the second. And we also then have the option of village righting it away if need be. So this looks more like either a terror or like a blue-red. Well, I was going to say blue-red Scred, but they're not on Snowlands. Okay, so like a Dimir Snacker control. So with that being the case, ever so slightly wish I had kept the Infestation Sage so I could village rights that away now, but as is, I think we village rights the token. This opponent is tapped out, so we get to draw. That's not great. Really missing having the Infestation Sage in hand. Our choice now is, do we get in for an extra point by playing the Life Staff, or do we hold up village rights for if they interact with our creature? So if we Life Staff and equip, it's an extra point of damage, an extra turn off the clock. I think I'm going to kind of split the difference. I'll play the Life Staff out, I'm not going to equip. And then obviously if we draw a creature, we have a chance of paying off, a chance of gaining this extra 1 damage back by sacrificing. See what they hit. They hit Brainstorm, and do they play it? No. So we hit an Infiltrator that we also don't really want to sacrifice. So I'm quite tempted to just snuff out this Augur and just push in for damage. I think realistic creatures that they might have are Sneaky Snacker, which obviously we can't snuff out, and Spell Stutter, which we would very much like to have the snuff out for. But the alternative, I guess we can equip the Life Staff, and that's doing much the same thing. And then if we play the Infiltrator, our shields are down for the Convictions. So it's between equip Life Staff and just snuff out this guy. If I snuff out the guy and so we attack for 5, they go down to 8. You know, if they play a Murmuring Mystic, they go down to 8. We have an Infiltrator as well. If they play a Murmuring Mystic, I guess they don't have to block. If they don't have a Murmuring Mystic, that's kind of fine. Yeah, I'm just going to jam. Again, keep up this mana. Although, if they do have a removal spell and a spell stutter, that could be tough. I'm not sure I like the line I took based on, cast down plus spell stutter being a bit of a pig. I do like my line against this, do I? So we get to keep both our guys. Unfortunately, if we sack the infiltrator, we can't village rights. But we're on like, a whole bunch of 1-drops to kill this turn. Oh no, they're dead from the life stuff. Cool. Yeah. So don't think we necessarily saw much about the kind of change in the deck. The life staff chipped in for damage, but it's not huge. Yeah, this is just the deck doing what it does. Obviously, we got to keep a strong draw for ourselves there. So how do we want to sideboard? Do I want a Curse Morders here? So I'm always worried with a Curse Mortar against a deck that can shoot it, and then we have to sacrifice another creature. I assume that they are on Sneaky Snackers, but we've not seen one yet. So I guess I would previously have normally boarded in the Rotom Unions to deal with the Snackers, and then if I think they're on Fairies, more Snuff Outs. Kind of like Mesmeric Fiend with Unearth for this match. I don't want the God, there's so many 1-drops. Don't want the life staff here, don't think. Do I want a Curse Mortar? Again, just a Curse Mordering a Snacker doesn't seem too good, whereas Mesmeric Fiending a Snacker is back to being quite nice. Do I want to cut any? What do I want to cut? I think I might. So this is the matchup where I might miss the reapings the most. So if we can get out of here with another quick start, I'd be happy. I might cut the Shamblers for 2 of the Fiends, and then if we're being very aggressive, I don't really want to cut the. Being very aggressive, I don't really want to cut the. The 1-drop creatures. I want to keep the Snuff Outs in case they have Mystic. Even though obviously it's dead against Snacker. Cut some Convictions. I guess these. I'm worried about these running into Spell Stutter. Maybe I just have 2 Fiends. We'll give this a go and see what we think. I could probably want to sneak another Mesmeric Fiend in, but be cutting probably the Link Breaker, right? Yeah, I think I think I'd rather I cut 2 more Link Breakers and have the Fiends, but we'll do that when we're on the play, and then the Fiend is a bit better because we're, on the play. So nice we did it twice. I think if you can just get this hand every if you can just get this hand every time, you are laughing. So play out the feeder first. If we play the Link Breaker, it could get spell stuttered, but then we can follow up with like the Sage. I guess we snuff out anyway, don't we? So we Beetle. If they spell stutter, we snuff out. If they just counterspell, I think we probably play out Guys, or we could Unearth. So I think we Unearth then. so that we can attack with this next turn. Does run us into the potential for like a 3-mana sweeper, but glad to see this isn't a 3-mana sweeper. So if we lead on the Link Breaker, I don't think it really matters at this point. The spell stutter, we still slamming the Snuff out. Yeah, so by countering that, we would rather have the Infestation Sage anyway. I'm gonna sack the first one in case they have like the instant speed cycling one. Although we're in a similar situation where we can get punished with the Village Rites effects. It's also 2 damage, which isn't nothing. What's this, a Gurmag Angler? Extract a Confession. So I'm going to get to choose, right? I think I'm going to keep the Beetle. It gets an extra counter. It'll grow when we corrupted Conviction. Let's Conviction this. No. We Conviction the Shambling Ghast. We can make sure we resolve the second Village Rites. Again, it pushes in for some more damage. We go up to 5 power. So we draw a land, so we wouldn't need to use the treasure for this anyway. But I'm still going to Village Rites this away. I don't think they're going to have. I mean, they could have another Extractor Confession. And if we draw a creature, we're fine to that anyway. They could always collect evidence 6 again if they had a Extractor Confession. So let's see what their skies do. Bottom, we like to see that. I'm going to lead on the Infiltrator. Just see if they have a counterspell. If they do that, if they do, they have to do it first. Just get a bit more information. I'll play the Vault now. So we've got something else. Deadly Dispute. They are on dead next turn. Looks like they are still digging for what might. So they shuffle. The Castle of Crayons. Bottom. Things look good. They keep digging, so an untapped land and a spell. If this just. Wow, if they just never find it off of a Ponder, 2 Preordains, that's pretty strong. So nothing really. Like we didn't draw the. I guess the no. So we did have the Unearth that we wouldn't have had before. That kind of allowed for this more aggressive stance. Yeah, no, I was going to say nothing really changed that much, but yeah, we had the Unearth and then we had more Village Rites. I might need to change how I'm playing so I don't get stuck with Village Rites in hand. Welcome back for round 2. We are back on the play. So this is one of these hands that I'm now supposed to mulligan, but like you see so many cards. Like draw 6 in here. What is it? It's turn 1 Sage, turn 2 Corrupted Conviction in case we attack Corrupted Conviction in case we draw another land. It's only playing 16 lands, so mulliganing seems so bad. I don't know. I can't see a world that you're... I completely agree that you can get better sixes, but because we've got both of these pay off and we can see so many cards. I said I was going to be disciplined and mulligan to like more aggressive hands, but this has got to be keepable. It's got to be, I said so. Lead on the Sage. If we want something to resolve, it's probably the Sage. So we can attack for 1. I think we want to conviction this down now. So we don't hit another payoff kind of thing now, but we do hit Link Breaker. So we don't hit a beetle or carrion feeder now. Next turn we can... So kind of pleased to see that preordained, because this is implying more jeskai ephemerate rather than affinity, and affinity is not a fun matchup. Well, not a good matchup. It is fun. They're all fun. So if I play Infiltrator, I'm at risk of being breath weaponed out of town. Alternatively, I play Link Breaker, but then so if I play Infiltrator, I'm risking breath weapon. If I play Link Breaker, like I can sacrifice one of these, not the end of the world. Or I can look at kind of Deadly Dispute first, get myself another treasure. I'm just going to jam. If they bolt, we've got a corrupted conviction for the Infiltrator. Augur, I am happy to have infiltrated. Reveal a Scred. I was kind of, expecting that this infiltrator was dead anyway, so I'm not too worried about that. Bit annoying. I kind of want to link breaker for some extra damage here, but if I do, they just spread down our. Oh, the infiltrator. They've only got 1 snowland. So if we play the vault and the link breaker, and then just jam. So we can Deadly Dispute, sack a land, sack the treasure, sack the conviction. This survives a bolt. Does it matter that we play the link breaker first? I don't think so. It just gives us another thing to sacrifice rather than sacrificing the land. I think I'm probably going to leave this link breaker at home. So 1, 2, 3. So if they have a bolt and block, this does still die. So I'm going to conviction here for my counter. The Scred we beat. Do I want to sack the link breaker or a vault? I think we have so many convictions and so many lands. We don't have the reaping anymore, so we're unlikely to need to play multiple spells. The Unearth's pretty nice. We're kind of lacking a carrion feeder, so this does 1 damage. We got another counter from that dying, so we don't need to sacrifice anything else, and we hit a carrion feeder. So I think we play the carrion feeder and just win, right? I don't think we're losing from here. We're now protected to, burn to us. We're in trouble against the destroy evils of the world. Yeah. So again, nothing that different that we couldn't have done with previous versions. I guess maybe just having all of the extra village rights. No, that was that again. That was the difference, is having the conviction. As having more convictions meant that we could just keep attacking. So against jeskai ephemerate, I think here I'm definitely going to have the mesmeric fiends. I might even have them have more snuff outs because they're going to be on more murmuring mystics. They've not got anything. Do I want snuff out? Do I want a curse mortar? I guess snuff out can interact with ephemerate where a curse mortar can't. I think I'd rather this was a rotten reunion. And then if I cut the nested shambler because I've cut the life staffs, and I think these are still the worst of those options. Then I'll cut 2 of the link breakers. I guess the shambling gas is not really any 1-power creatures to pick off, so I'm going to cut the shambling gas for the kind of treasure generator over the link breakers. Do I want to cut more shambling ghasts? I don't think we need more snuff outs because we've got them fiends already. I don't think I want the accursed mortars. Do I want more nested shamblers over shambling ghasts? So they're going to have destroy evils and so on in their deck now, rather than relying on direct damage. I think 2 gas is fine. The treasures just will help things run more smoothly. Yeah, I could be. I think this is probably a bit weird. I'm kind of hedging. Opponents kept 7. Not having the second land, I think this is not. The first hand was 2 lands and all the all the cards in the world. This is worse. I really don't like this hand either, but I definitely don't. I hate mulliganing to 5. Is a 5 better than I think there's a lot of 5s that are better than this. At least that do something. There's a lot of cards that we can draw. If we draw one of our 1-drops, we're kind of out of a jam here. I think I'm gonna try a mulliganing, but I think this is probably back where I would keep. So we're keeping here because we're not going down to 4. This is worse than probably both hands so far. I'm going to put back a dispute because we can never cast it. I'm going to keep the fiend because we've mulliganed so heavily already. Put back a link breaker. So the fiend could pull us out of this in some fashion. I'm keeping the second deadly dispute for a similar reason. If I want to be able to draw out of it, I don't think just playing a bunch of 1 mana 1/1s should be the plan. So if we can like Deadly Dispute down one of these to get the treasure, and then draw like a Corrupted Conviction for this, like that's kind of how I'm seeing this going. That's how I'm seeing this go in a positive direction for us. And if I'm saying that, am I going to dispute this now? Make sure it resolves? I don't get any value. I don't really get anything from just playing the Shambling Ghast. Cool. I think our hand has improved significantly. I kind of want them to tap out now. If they hold up mana, I don't want to go for the Mesmeric Fiend stuff. So I'll just attack for 1. And I think I'm probably going to play the Infestation Sage. And then hold back because they're going to have breath weapons now. I don't want to just jam 2 Shambling Ghast into breath weapons. If we had a payoff, I'd probably try and find a way to jam that in, but I'm almost looking at a lot of our payoffs are basically going to be bait to get the Mesmeric Fiend through. Back to a question of do we want to Corrupted Conviction in the end step just to, if they pass with 3 mana up again? It's a fair question. So hand's not really doing anything yet. Does mean that we're going to lose our, we're going to lose all board presence if they do Breath Weapon us. I mean, we have so many of these now. I think we're quite likely to draw another one. Annoyingly, if they counter it, we have no follow-up. But I don't think they're going to counter this. So they might like cast into the fire us, but yeah. So happy with how that's played, how that's panned out. We can just attack with both. They scred now. They're still holding up like a potential counter spell. I think I'm just going to Village Rites again. It's not impressive, but we're not, we've not drawn any threat. But equally, we're not falling behind exactly, are we? Just crappy little creatures, and then if they want to keep holding, keep being able to hold up their counter spell, hopefully we're gonna punish that. Don't want to see a Murmuring Mystic. That's interesting. So if we Mesmeric Fiend and they have an Ephemerate and use it, well, we have to see what we draw. We Mesmeric Fiend, they Ephemerate. I'm close to being able to pick this off with Shambling Ghasts. Thinking if I pump this and attack, but I don't think that. I think that's so minor in order to get them to blink first. I'll play the land first because I've got million lands, so play a Mesmeric Fiend. Expect them to play Ephemerate here. I guess they can wait till we sacrifice. But I guess they should do it now, yeah. They scred. Do not mind you scredding. Don't have two Ephemerates. Archaeomancer double counterspell. So we're going to take the Archaeomancer. We're getting paid off here, aren't we? So I can Carrion Feeder. So the hand is counterspell, counterspell. Snow cover plains. I can Carrion Feeder, shoot 2 gas into this Archaeomancer, or I can Carrion Feeder, bring back Mesmeric Fiend and take another counterspell. It's kind of weird, but I just want to get the Archaeomancer off the table. We're going to end up with a 3-3 and a 1-1. Basically, you know, them having 1 counterspell or having 2 doesn't feel that different to me. If we Carrion Feeder get back 1, no, so I was going to say if we get back 1 gas, then we can attack. But the point is if they draw an Ephemerate, then we're just dead. And we're never getting back into that game. That's the advantage of shooting down their guy with ghasts. So they have 2 counterspells. They play their planes. I think we just play a Link Breaker. What are they going to do? Counter it? Like, I'm more than happy with them trying to counterspell that. I guess they, you know, if they're super tuned into the world of Monoblack Sacrifice, they might know that we're not on Reaping the Graves anymore. But I've been, you know, if you that's in your mind, you really don't want to play a basically. If Reaping the Graves on your mind, you really don't want to counter a creature. That's just 3 storm count already. Just attack for 5. Potentially I could have sacrificed this and made the guy, but I think we have to look at it for this next turn as to how we can push through for more damage. So they've drawn 3 spells in a row, and it looks like none of them were relevant. They died with the 2 counterspells in the hand. So this is how you do it. I'm on the play again in round 3. Got some plays, but nothing to sacrifice. Again, we now have a bunch of them to draw to. Let me be back in a. So we have 14 creatures to draw to. And if they're on an interactive deck, we get to village rights. I think there's better 6s than this, but I don't want to fall into the mulligan hole again. Ugh, never mulligan this much. Okay, I think this is actually a better 6. So we can keep and put back probably an Infestation Sage because we've got the 1 mana. Being able to do the ghast thing might be useful. Shame it's only one land. So if I play the beetle, then we get the payoff for the right if we draw a land. If we play this sage and lock ourselves into writing. Opponent's on white, so this might be a death head. Okay, so slightly awkward because obviously we really want to shambling gas this down, but we'd like to get the beetle in play first. To do that, I could shambling ghast and then I could even pick off a what's the discard guy called? Rafine's Informant, or I just beetle and make sure I get the pump. I think I'm going to shambling, so I think I'm going to attack. Obviously they're never going to block, but it means that it kind of resets us from like looking like we're tanked for ages. I'm going to ghast. And then say go. Do I, like, is there anything that I don't, even if it's a Rafine's Informant, why not just kill the veteran anyway? If it's a Skyfish, oh, it's sweet. Yeah, okay. So, our worries about drawing enough lands are over. I'm just gonna jam this now. I think I can hold the Sage in hand, especially with no way to sacrifice it. They will start coming up the board. So this is a place where Drown in Sorrow would be better than our Death's Head Buzzard that we're currently on. It's not auto yield, just in case. Yeah, so the Death's Head Buzzard is worse than Drown in Sorrow because of all of the stupid Thraben Inspectors. But let's just keep playing to the board. Play a Vault, so we've got another Deluge View that would sack the treasure. And just attack for one. I mean, if we attack for two... What I should have done was I should have just jam attacked for two. Attack with both of these, because I think they're unlikely to block, because if we had the Village Rights type effect... so I think I'm just going to snuff out this. Sure. So we run out of gas. I didn't attack last turn. Yeah. Potentially a leak on not pushing for that, like, yeah. Potentially, I think last turn I think I might have gone away with it for whatever reason now, because I didn't attack this. Because I didn't attack last turn, I'd be like, my story would be that I drew the dispel. And we also lost the snuff out, which was our kind of backup if we had needed it. Although obviously snuff out against Raven Spectre is pretty miserable. guess we keep attacking with our insect token. I'd trade this for a bird. Not great for us, but they have Guardian's Pledge, we do not. And play a Sage. So I've previously found mono white to be quite a rough matchup because they can gum up the board quite effectively, and then the prismatic strands is really hard to beat. Let's just see whether we are in that world. Obviously what's the word, Guardian's Pledge is also pretty strong in this position. I can see like Death's Head Buzzard Unearth being, pretty effective as a way of fighting back here. I'm going to see my next card and then concede. I don't think that we're getting back into this one. I mean, if there's a way, I think I'd probably even sacrifice the Infestation Sage to make the flyer over the treasure. So we can Carrion Feeder, sack this Sage as well. I guess we start by sacking the Sage. We're doing a thing. I want to leave back some things that could block. So we get in for 7. This means that they're going to crack back with everyone, but if we'd not attacked for 7, they could like leave the bugler at home or something. But again, I think we're kind of incentivized to attack and be sacking the shamblers anyway. How do we kind of turn this around with our current configuration? This is a good block for us in that it implies they don't have the the pump spell, I think. In that if they did have it, they would probably just take it and smush us into the floor. I think we probably just block 3 different birds over like triple blocking the Skyfisher. Because again, the pledge is kind of one of the things we're worried about. Again, not giving have it all vibes over there. Prismatic Strands is still going to be very tough to beat. We need to draw our life staff to really fight back against it. So I think we just... Is there any value in leaving one of the insect tokens home? Because I guess I'm never thinking that this pays off for us, if you know what I mean. That we just only take 4 and live happily ever after. If we block like this, the next turn they attack for 4, 6, 7. Three, 6, 10 if they do have a pledge. I think I'm just leaving it here. Okay, they had the pledge. So that's conviction here. Conviction again. So far, I'm definitely thinking that the thing I like most about this build is just having all of these village rights. And then we sack this one. I'd quite like a Reaping the Graves. We even draw the life staff, so again, if there's a way to get out of this, we're drawing those cards. So I want a Shambling Ghast to shoot down this guy. That would put gain us 5, would go up to 7. If we Beetle, Ghast, equip something else, equip something else. So we can kind of do it all. That Silver Life Staff was a hell of a draw. Always yes, always yes. Always yield here. Okay, here. Always yield here. What else do you want to enchant or equip? 3, 6, 9, 12. 14, 16. So if they have another one, we're dead to that anyway, right? We block here, take 12. We can only gain up to 11. If we sack the Shambler, the squirrel comes back tapped. So I think I might sack the squirrel. Equip sack. Do I need to sack anything else? It'd be nice too so that we can attack with the feeder. I'm attacking here because I'm going to sacrifice this to gain 3 life by moving the token, the life staff over to the flyer. So far, my read on this is we have drawn like absolute champs in each match. Again, part of that is the fact that the village rights are always great draws because they're just 2 more cards. I previously tried playing with more copies of that effect, so we just get in for 2 extra damage. Yeah, so I previously tried playing with more copies of that effect, but I don't know if I did it with the, well, I was going to say nested shamblers, but like even with the 4 of each of the other sacrifice guys. So we clear off the ground blockers, so leaving back like the squirrel token wouldn't have mattered. We can equip this insect token. So we lose to another pledge, but we have like a lot of game against a lot of other stuff. Prismatic Strand's weirdly even included, just because we can gain a bunch of life. Like, if they don't have a strands, what we trade with a bird. take 5, go back up to 8, take 5 down to go to 6. Okay. So not dead. Still in a bit of trouble. They can't attack with this, but they did. So we block here and block here. I think they're in a lot of trouble, right? We're gonna get 2 zombos out of the nested shambler with the life staff on it. So 9, 14, 18. Yeah, I think they're dead. We get to do the nested shambler thing, which is quite fun. Does it matter that we equip this? I guess if they have something, I'd rather I equipped it. Probably the downside here is I've used up so much time, but we'll take it to get out with a win. So we're attacking for 27. Nice. The life staff main deck paid off. Fangs, I guess, might have as well, but the like Fangs is so bad. Definitely don't be on Fangs. So in this matchup, I want my Buzzard, and I think I want Mesmeric Fiend because some of their cards, Cough, Prismatic Strands, Cough, are such a beating. Kind of want Awful Snout. They don't have, I don't think they're going to be on much artifact removal, so we could just gain 1,000,000. This also lets us attack into Thraben Inspectors and so on. Like this getting if I can pay this for 3 and get a Battle Screech or something, that's quite nice. There's a lot of cards to bring in. I don't want Snuff Outs. I don't think I want the Shamblers. Do I not want the Unearth here? Probably I don't want 4 life staff. 4 life staff's probably a bit much. Unearth's kind of weak into a Thraben Charm removing the graveyard, but Thraben Charm just kills a guy anyway. I know I like Unearth with the because we got the Buzzard, for example. So we've cut 1, 2, 3. So I'm trying to make these numbers make sense. We've boarded in 4 cards. We've boarded in 9 cards. Cut these 5 so far. Shambling Gas seems great. We're kind of replacing the Shamblers as fodder with Mesmeric Fiends, but I don't want to do that too much. Kind of want to cut some Carrion Feeders. Is that weird? Is that wrong? That's got to be wrong. Man, all these cards are so good. Maybe 2 life staffs. I'm just kind of going to trim a little bit of everything and hope that because we've still got most of like a few copies of most of them in the deck. Maybe the light staff. Just have 2. First is really good. Running out of time. Don't love this sideboard. It would be nice to have a plan and follow through on the plan, but instead we are taking the coward's way out, just cutting one of everything. So this is a good draw. I don't think our super aggressive hands work too well against them because they just come up the board so well. So instead we get to interact with the potentially interact with the 1-drop, get to Mesmeric Fiend and Conviction it. We don't have a great turn 2, that's for sure. In fact, I would go so far as to say it's a pretty bad turn 2, really. You get paid off if they play a Fiend's Informant. Bugler's not a Fiend's Informant, but they brick their Bugler. Do we want to sacrifice this to draw 2? Thing is, it never changes what we draw next turn, so I'd rather have the Ghast in play than not. Does that change what we do? I think so. Sorry, Mesmeric Fiend, you've got another turn to wait. We have just telegraphed what we drew for the turn, but that's kind of out of our hands. And we do get to snag the Raffine's Informant, so that's good. They do get to picture Strands, bit of pain. They can attack with the Bugler. They don't attack. Okay, don't understand not attacking there. So if we Fiend and Conviction it over disputing it, can't give too much of a reason why. It's just, obviously the cheapest spell. We get to play the Infestation Sage as well this turn. So we take the Destroy Evil, play out our Sage. No attacks for us. So we're not taking damage. Also not particularly moving forwards our game plan. Let's start by Corrupted Convictioning this just to make a flyer. Do we Deadly Dispute now? I think we Deadly Dispute now. Depending on what we hit, we might be able to start attacking. Not really, but I'll hopefully play out some more guys. I mean, I guess I could have attacked, but then it's them attacking back is a bit awkward. If we unearth, we can wipe most of their board. If we draw an unearth. Raven Charm's 6 damage, which we can survive. They lose a discard a Lunarch Veteran, which is obviously nice for them. So let's Conviction this down now. Make our mercenary that can pump our insect. think we just do that again. Not growing our carrion feeder yet, but we're keeping our powder dry for if we draw a beetle. No beetles to be had. If we attack, they just block. At least we get to kill a guy. If they crack back, we take 1,000,000. I think I probably will end up disputing away this infestation sage now, in case we draw like an awful snout. No, I'll hold it up. It's nice. I don't have a great reason for why I'm holding it up, but I don't want to keep tanking over every decision. There's something along the lines of, if they have a Thraben Charm for this, it gives us a way to block and take less damage without falling too far behind. Really want to see an Unearth now. That's, how we're going to really put ourselves over the top. So let's Deadly Dispute this down, make another flyer. They are representing Thraben Charm still. I mean, if you're just going to keep giving us stupid village writing a guy away, we'll keep village writing stupid guys away. A Mortician Beetle would be huge if we had played one. Not necessarily worried about it being a draw. Let's pump a insect token. Equip a life staff. Then I'll equip one of these and threaten to block here. I might end up needing to sack the buzzard, so I don't want to go too deep. It's a shame to show them we have this, but awkward if they Thraben Charm this. That would be awkward. I mean, we get to sack everything and have a huge infiltrator, but obviously we'll lose a lot of stuff. I don't think I should have played this. The Destroy Evil here, that's easier to choose. We just sack. Again, Unearth is kind of our best draw. Hilarious how many cards we've drawn. I could see us. I think I said there was like probably turn 3 when they just had the 2 Thraben Spectres and the Bugler. I could have attacked with our guy. Otherwise, again, like if they just block and then attack back for 6, I don't think that favours us. The Buzzard does feel a bit of a liability, that's for sure. we just block here, we take 2, 6, 9, 11, 13. Kill off these. I don't want to kill my buzzard, and Carrion Feeder can't block, so this looks like pretty much the only way to achieve that goal. Guess they strands. So we can prevent or sack these now. We do go up to 4 power for destroy evil checks. But we do hit our Unearth. So what, we just put everything into the feeder. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to gain a bunch of life. We're just going to have a huge guy versus there. Huge guy and a bunch of life. Might well get destroy evil, but hey. It's a lot of life. Obviously, this also did a lot of, this was a lot of clicks in order to do basically a drown in sorrow. And we didn't even get to scry. So, I don't want to say screams of a destroy evil. We don't have to worry about auto yielding, do we? Because sacrificing it to itself doesn't actually get us any benefit. So we are back, kind of where we started. Unfortunately, I think we've seen like all of our infestation stages, so we can't really get there in the air very easily. We're going to have to slog through the ground. And the Skyfish is pretty good. I was about to say, I'm worried we're about to draw a Mortician Beetle, based on the fact that we've not seen one yet, and we're so many cards in. They've not seen any Battle Screechers, likewise they are many cards deep. Things don't look good for our hero. I'll probably sack the Carrion Feeder to the Village Rites. So we can unearth a Carrion Feeder, attack. This can get up to 4 power or 4 toughness. So if we attack, we kind of might get stuck sacking the carrion feeder to itself. But not attacking feels pretty weird. Guess, yeah, because it does kill both their guys. We know we're doing this, so we can equip here. Sack this to itself, this becomes a 5/5. Equip it again, it becomes a 6/6. Or a 6/5. Which is enough to kill both their guys and survive. I mean, it was a good turn. I guess they, yeah. Once it got up to 5 power, that was a punt, wasn't it? So we didn't need to sack the carrion feeder because we could have just not given them the option, and they'd have chosen not to double block. Back to a load of guys. So Unearth and getting our carrion feeder back would be good. Let's turn off auto yield so that we can remember to re-equip our life staff. Not killing this because they'll just disturb it anyway. I think we knew about this bugler. And the skies are full of fish. Yeah, really missing the carrion feeder as another attacker. Guess we don't attack, right? I think we've got a better chance of winning this game than if we just concede for some time. Let's see one more draw. Has the advantage of not taking very long. So yeah, I think there's a few spots where he messed up. Messed up near the end with sacking the carrion feeder to itself. Potentially messed up with link breaking. Sorry, with was it link breaking? What am I about? I don't know. So messed up with sacking the carrion feeder to itself at the end, but obviously I think the game was already pretty rough by then. Did we mess up just by just playing the buzzard when we could have held it longer? I don't really think so. I'm happy with, yeah, I'm broadly happy with how I played, I think. Maybe I want more life stats so I can punch through the air as well. Against core skyfishers with our infestation sages. 3 means you only have to draw 2 of our 3. Based on that game, so the infiltrator would have been good. We were kind of missing another payoff for a lot of that, and having another grown creature would have been pretty nice. But they just have so many, what do you call it? They have so many destroy evils. Guess we need more creatures than they have destroy evils. I mean, the awful snap would have been fine, but it's not exactly impressive, is it? It's just, I think, yeah, if we drew it and managed to take like a battle screech away, that would have still been good. So stay on 2 life staffs. I'm going to have the other infiltrator on the, because we were back on the play, and cut like a deadly dispute. Have the other carrion feeder because we're on the play as well. Cut the second deadly dispute because we've got all 4 convictions. We don't have that many artifacts to sacrifice. The game's not going to go that long anyway. And then let's give this a go. The weird 3-drop part of the deck. So I'm going to keep this. We've got the carrion feeder. If we draw a second land, we can infiltrate. Otherwise, we like just gassed on turn 2 with the feeder, with the feeder up. We have to just sack it to make a treasure to get the infiltrator rolling. That's not great, but so land is great. We brick on the land. We play this, it means we can attack for 1. We can hold it up to threaten to sacrifice to kill a guy, but we know we want the treasure. I'm gonna hold it back still because of the whole could prevent them from playing a Fiend's Informant. So we get there on our land, which means we can play an Infiltrator. And I think we can attack again, right? I actually think I may have missed a trick by not sacking the ghast to do ghast infestation sage. Just a million counters there, but I guess having both ghast means that we can kill this unicorn for free. Does mean we don't get to fiend. No, we still get to fiend them as well. So let's start on fiend, sack fiend. See what you have. Always yield, always yield. Take the destroy evil. Play the ghast. Kill this. So we can attack with both for free. Oh, they can't block. We know they have 2 planes and some treasures. Oh, Death's Head Buzzard, come on down. I mean, we've got a few turns to draw it. So no point us attacking whilst they've got two mana open. They can just give both Pokemon. I guess we could have stopped them from cracking the clue. It would mean that they could attack back, but they can always attack back. And yeah, I should have attacked. Screech. It's going to auto yield now. I don't think there's anything that we could do different. So we're going to get to attack this turn. Again, trying to play quite quickly. I'd have to sack both insect tokens to be able to attack with this feeder, but I think it's worth it. Maybe not, because it means the village rights is bad. We kill a bird. I think I would wish I had rather. I think I would rather not have made that aggressive a play, but that's quite awkward. That's now a lot harder to kill. We can kind of get them into having to respect and keep a bunch of guys back. So we are halfway there. We just need to draw the buzzard. So I could have equipped a life staff, which would be slightly more correct, but let's not bother sacking that yet because of the whole drawing of village rights. I'm just going to gain a bit of a life buffer again. Being able to make a red creature's kind of nice. Annoying that I messed up by auto yielding there, so I'm going to have to reset some. I auto yielded without equipping this, which means I'm going to have to reset up auto yields on some of these triggers. Obviously, with so little time, is a bit of a pain. Again, pretty sure we're lost. Thraben charming down that isn't the end of the world to me because we can't. Well, depends if it's showing that they have a Thraben charm already to beat the Unearth. That's the problem. I think we attack for 2. Just kill a guy. We are in combat still. End of combat, equip this. Pass back. So yeah, we've only got the one buzzard to draw to. They don't attack, so they're just happy to wait us out on the clock, which I don't blame them for. Just some auto yielding going on. Need to click OK to no blocks. OK to no attacks. To say the fact that they Thraben Charmed means that they should have another Thraben Charm in hand. But whilst we still have a potential out, I will play to it. See, so they go here. Going here and not here does potentially not respect the buzzard. So let's draw two. Always yes, always yield. Always yes, always yes, yes. I think we run out of time, which is not unfair seeing as how slowly we played through the first couple of games. Let's hit him with the GGs. And draw some extra cards, see whether we had a shot. Kind of want to ask if they had another Thraben Charm, but I guess we'll never know. We are on the play for the perfect 4 out of 4. Mulligan, got to be able to do better. Keep, although we don't have the start we necessarily want, we've got lands. If it's against Burn, we're sorted. And we've got the dispute to kind of start drawing our way out. I think I'm just going to play both guys rather than the live staff. This at least gives us, like, you know, attack for 3. It's the actually not that bad side of the deck. It does really contribute, just kind of awkward creature beatdown. So opponent's dredge. So our two lot less giants in there, but no lands. It's mad. I think I'm going to dispute. I guess we attack first, don't we? Dispute a Sage over the Shambler because we've got access to life staff. So Shambler could be worth more in the future, but obviously it's, you know, very mana inefficient to spend 2 mana enchanting a equipping a nested Shambler for an extra 1 point of damage when we could deadly dispute into Mortician Beetle Carrion Feeder, or a Link Breaker, and just keep the crappy beatdowns coming. Did they miss a land? Or like brick on a land because they didn't hit on the Satyr? We'll take any free wins, cheap wins we can get. Medium. They do have another land, so it's not a free win, but does spend a mana doing this. Does make them spend a mana doing this. Looks like Silver Life Stuff might be coming to the party. I might be Silver Life Stuff. You are invited to the ball. No, invited to the ball. There's a saying I've heard of, like Cinderella will come to the ball. We'll make it to the ball. That's what I'm going for with the. Oh, this time they hit. 7 creature cards has added up pretty quick. And we've got Snuff out to potentially keep them off 4 creatures, but that's pretty medium. So, Life Staff, Equip, Bash. They trade. So I'm assuming this is a Unearth coming down the route, coming down the track. I guess we don't have to sack the Shambler now, do we? Unearth? I mean Dread Return. That's the one. So can Dread Return hit us for 8? Or this? They returned a forest, didn't they? No, a swamp. So they might not have it. They chose no cards. That's funny. I don't think I've actually seen that before. So I'm going to sack this now so that the creatures are untapped. So pump here. Let's start with just Deadly Dispute the treasure. Draw some more cards. I don't see how we kill them this turn. 3, 4, 5, 6. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Stuff like yeah. So we're not killing them this turn. I guess we're just playing both our guys. And then we're losing a point of chip with the life staff. Getting the feeders definitely down is definitely worth it as another potential attacker. The infestation sage it might be worth just having the point of chip instead, because we'll be then that's kind of assuming that if we sacrifice it to pump. I guess if this is a gnaw to the bone, which would make a lot of sense, it would not matter about the chip. They gain 22. But we still get him for 8. That's not nothing. Definitely means I don't want to be shooting this if they're just going to sack it for mana anyway. Yes, this is the gnaw. I mean, we've got a lot of life gain here against the lot less giants. It's going to take a couple to kill us. The new Aether Drift Chitin Gravestalker. So they have a mutt. It's a dredge and imp. And they exhume. Is there anything else we'd rather exhume? I think the Shambler's our best exhume. There's just 2 more bodies. See, we take 15 from this. Don't know whether we sack the insect token to gain life off the life staff, rather than keep it to chip in for damage. We'd all dispute. So we can gain like 12 life back up to 21. The other thing that we've got is the option is shooting down this mutt. Kind of want to be able to attack with both feeders. I guess we attack and then choose where to pump the feeder based on what they block. If we only gain 9 life up to 15, sorry, up to 18, then we are still in danger. So I am going to sack this insect. Pump the insect with the mercenary, and then equip Shambler. I guess I could have pumped the Shambler for an extra guy. And then what? Play this Sage. I guess we do have to. It's annoying that we have to equip first. Yeah. Swim for another 8. I can sack to keep. I can sack to make them to win combat. I'm not too worried about putting this back in the graveyard because they've got the other one anyway. They dredge say a stinkweed imp. I can snuff out this. That kind of could keep them off the lot less gianting. The 2 dread returns in the graveyard. So they just take 8. You're up to 16 creatures in the bin. So if they play a guy, sack 3 creatures and exhume, that's 18. If this hits 3 creatures, then I'm dead either way. Only hit 1. Surveil moves another. So I have this that they remove 3 creatures from the graveyard and put 3 creatures into the graveyard, take 1 out. So net change of +2, so we're alive by 1. And we are kind of dead next turn. I guess this should have been on this one. Yeah, I'd really rather we had another squirrel than them be at 1 less life. That was a bit of a mistake. As is, we kind of need to just gain 1,000,000 life, or gain 9 life again. But that just kind of, doesn't move us forwards at all. And we still die to, like, sack this to this dread return, get back this one. Then use the other dread return to get back this one. So in order to interrupt that, we'd need to like kill a creature, but obviously that's not a plan for going forwards very much. I think unfortunately it is what we have. Though I do agree it's unlikely to matter. I guess we do have a so we can do this deadly dispute to sack this, so we can have a chance of drawing another land, which could move us forwards. It doesn't. So we're at 24. We're going to take 20 from the thing, so we need to gain 3 more life so that we can snuff out. I mean, they can sack 1, 2, 3, and then, sorry, 1, 2, 3, and then flash unearth this, sorry, to have one, the Lotless Giant, and this back. Yeah, I guess I could have killed this in response. Oh well. Believe we're dead. Dread returns for days. Yeah, I mean, this is where like the dredge deck in particular, the Nile Spell Bomb is definitely better. So I want to be on Mesmeric Fiend, Awful Snout, kind of like Death's Head Buzzard. Don't want Snuff Outs. I kind of like everything else. So I guess I don't like Death's Head Buzzard that much. I don't even like Mesmeric Fiend that much, but being able to exile a useful card seems better than like having a nested Shambler. I guess I'll cut like one of the link breakers. Life Staff just doesn't, I don't think, ends up kind of getting there, if that makes sense. See, a couple of points of life gain is pretty useful, but easy more. So I'm going to keep, I'm going to go to 5. Put back the link breaker. It's turn 1 beetle, turn 2 get there. How hard can it be? Turn 2 get there. Yeah, never in doubt. I think I'm going to corrupt a conviction off the infestation sage. So glad to have drawn the Mesmeric Fiend. Shame we don't have a thing to sacrifice. Sacrifice it yet. They find a pylons. I think we're on just play 2 guests for the crappy creature beatdown. They block, which I wasn't expecting. I'm guessing that block means that they've got the like I'm guessing this means they've got a gnaw to the bone, but if they tap mana and don't gnaw, we've got a chance of Mesmeric Fiending it. Gotta say, this is probably worth more damage later. So there's a gnaw, which is annoyingly in there. Did you like that one? Did you see what I did there? Annoyingly in their graveyard, so we can't Mesmeric Fiend it. But oh, he's pretty large. So I think we're just attacking for 1 in the air. Kind of, you know, crapped out a little bit on the turn when we drew the, was it Gaston Link Breaker off of the Conviction. Kind of lacking some of the power there. If we'd have drawn another draw 2, obviously we'd be able to deploy the Fiend and start potentially rolling, but there's still chances for like Awful Snout to be. It's basically, again, it's very similar to the previous black deck, or the previous build I was playing, where like you just kind of want to draw as many 1 mana draw 2s or like Deadly Dispute type effects. I think I'm just going to block here. Turn my guy into a thing, or I can kill this the spawn. I think I'd rather keep these back. just turning this into a... I can do that next turn. Sorry, I can do the Shambling Gas thing next turn, whereas this adds damage now. Well, it doesn't add damage now anymore. Am I going to have to give up and cycle this Unearth? And should I definitely have done it last turn? Yeah, so it definitely should have done that last turn. I kind of just forgot it, cycled. Obviously there's payoffs to having it as the Unearth, but as it was, it didn't really matter. We haven't had a way to sacrifice permanent in between. So if we can like double block, kill this, maybe there's a like block, shoot down this, make a treasure. Yeah, still a few cards away, aren't we? And that is to beat the stuff in board, let alone their hand and graveyard. So we can carry on playing it out there. Again, I think there's definitely like options for something we could find and be good. Make a treasure to pump the infiltrator, but I think just getting rid of the spawn is fine. The chump blocker is, going to be worth more than the treasures. We get an extra counter from sacking the spawn, a little bit of value. Rather than making treasure and putting a counter on our infiltrator. A Gnaw now. I'm going to get to 31 with the food. Another infiltrator, so we they're not adding cards to the graveyard to kill us. And we do have a bunch of guys that can grow if we, get the ball rolling. So currently on like block, so they got this in the hand on turn 1, right, from the Ent, and finally played it. So another pylons, I guess. We can block and kill this. And I guess it gives them more cards in the graveyard. Do I just want the treasure? I've got 2 infiltrators now. Fair enough. So we draw a carrion feeder who is a little late to the party. I'm gonna fiend them now. Seems like a good turn to do it when they're on 6 and they're 1 away from gianting. Where's you here? Where's you here? See what's going on over there. So 2 lot of their giants. We can get one of them. The other is coming through. They had a land as well in there, didn't they? Haunted Mire. So if we're drawing an Earth for another carrion feeder, we are safe. We could be safe. They drew a land. So we're taking 6 off of the giant. Maybe their attacks are a bit tough into the beetle and feeder. Let's see. I think they'll stay home. We've got 5 things we can sacrifice. There's 1, 2, 3 things we can sacrifice so that the infiltrators go up to 5 power. I guess I'll sit on the swamp. Don't want them to necessarily know we don't have anything. Just passing back and slowly dying, which is everyone's favourite pastime. So they've got a Haunted Mire. Right. You had a Haunted Mire. Oh, it had a Forest in already. Their board is definitely adding up. This is the difference between, I think, was it round 1 at least, we had just great draws. The difference from there to here, you can see that there is certainly a bit of variance on this. So we have to turn off auto yield because we're going to have to do some thinking, do some blocking, and I'm thinking that it's going to be tough. So we've got 3 things we want to sacrifice. Get this up to a 6/5. So very hard to block both profitably. So I guess we're just chumping both. Block either profitably. Oh yeah, we can't chump the stupid troll. We take 6, we just die to Unearth. So sack 1, 2, 3. 4. So this is dying anyway. So sack 1, 2, 3. Yeah. So we keep these, the 1 beetle, 1 infiltrator, carrying feeder. We can't keep the infiltrator alive by sacking the treasure. So now we're back into a world where we don't really want to draw village fights. It has to be the deadly dispute. And if I remember right, I think we cut a bunch of deadly disputes. So that's tough. And that's not great because, well, I guess Unearth better than land. And that's not great. I guess it would only get back like a link breaker for 2 blockers. So here we go, say block, 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 take 6, die 2, dread return the Lawless Giant. Unfortunately, that's us. Unfortunately, we have lost the die roll. For the first time in this league, we're on the draw. With a banger! So, snap keep, this is a carrying feeder, mortician beetle hand. Keep every day of the week against what is probably a familiars or ephemerate. Going to lead on the carrion feeder to get it in under any counter spells, because we've got the Unearth as backup anyway. Still reckoning familiars. So We are kind of unimpeded, making two. I was going to say 2/3/3s on turn 2. Then I was about to say, but that's a bit tough because maybe we want to village rights and keep a guy back for that. However, as we've drawn the other one, we don't have to put our thinking caps on. I think we just jam. Obviously, there's a risk that we'd get punished by a snap on one of our guys. So we could keep the mercenary token back. I think that's fine. If we were to get him for 2 damage, I would probably have sacked him. If it's just 1, that's acceptable. So who's going to play this many cantrips? I wonder. It could still be familiars. I want it to be tribe. What you got? What? You call gates, but you don't have any gates. My heart's telling me it's tribe. I want it to be tribe. So they didn't take, I guess it makes sense. So let's link break village rights. Do we unearth back one of the 2 link breakers or just draw 2 again? So we can pump with this mercenary so we can attack anyway. But it is, what, 4 damage. Expecting they're able to make a white source, they're going to have prismatic strands, they're going to be able to really slow us down. Just, I guess I'm saying that's a point against the Unearth. I think I'm going to Unearth. Because I'd rather, no. I've changed my mind back to just convictioning and guaranteeing the spells through any dispels or whatever they've got going on over there. I am going to eat a mercenary token to get through. And now do I want to sack this last mercenary or unearth the link breaker back? Thing is, if I hold the unearth, I can sack a guy in response to like a snap. And then unearth it. It's a bit slow because I lose all my counters, but if I sack this, and they snap, it's quite rough. I'm going to sack it and just draw 2. Cool. Happy to see the dispute there, even if we are kind of quite exposed to a snap on, I guess, the beetle. Again, with the link breaker in hand, we can regrow quite quickly into a creature that attacks through most of what they could have. This just seems like a lot of ponders, preordains, and brainstorms. It's got to be. I'll let you know when they're back. Oh, that was quick. So they brainstorm. They're getting planes now. That might just be too slow. By Jove. So 8, 12, 16. I think we've got them. Let's say planes, one drop, white, one drop. I mean, I guess they could also just unsummon us, but who plays unsummon in this economy? So 12, 14. Still not quite sure what they are. I'm going to look up the name, see what they. So looking up their name was unsuccessful. So I'm not going to bring the stuff out as if they're tribe. Don't want to call my shot that much. I think I do want Mesmeric Fiend to just work out what's going on and potentially take prismatic strands out of their hands. I'm going to keep some snuff outs in because even if they're gates, that's fine. I guess Death's Head Buzzard could be good against core gates type thing. Yeah, it could be good against a bunch of Squadron Hawks, or it could be good against a Scaredy Cat. Not really, is it? It's not fantastic. The Awful Snout, what we saw some prismatic strands and some deep analysis. Let's cut the Shamblers. Let's cut the wherever you are, Silver Life Staff. And probably 2 Fiends, and we just try and clock them. I think I'd rather have a Fiend than an Awful Snout. I guess we could cut some Ghasts. I think this is fine. Maybe some Disputes, because they're going to have so many Dispels. If we've got the 4 Fiends, we might as well take advantage of the 1 mana sacrifice things and keep them in. Opponent has kept 7. And we've kind of got sack fodder that we can cycle and unearth. Blue-white might not be able to kill an infiltrator very well. You know how I started off with a good record and mulliganing a bunch to good hands, and then I started keeping really bad hands and losing. I guess it isn't really bad, it's definitely at the bottom of the range, but yeah. They were tribe. I knew it. I knew it. You heard. Just didn't have the conviction to follow through. So it's funny that they milled 2, and it's funny that we drew our carrion feeder. Just going to resolve an infiltrator. Then next turn we can do some carrion feeder if they counter it, unearth type stuff. Tribe's so cool. So try and slam a feeder. Well, that's fine. I wasn't expecting it to just resolve necessarily. Do I want a shambling gas for a treasure? Yeah. Get the other link breaker down. Just push in for damage. I'm less convinced that the -1/-1 is going to matter if they're on all islands. We could have done some like absurd unearths to be like 2 more shambling ghasts. Thing is, I don't know whether they're going to have snaps, boomerangs, and the like. Let's get in for another 1 damage and flip the feeder. Actually, let's flip both because the flyer is an easy thing to pump with a mercenary token. Therefore, we will create a mercenary token and a flyer. So we can pump here. Unearth the sage. And this forces a chump. Again, I'm not really sure what I'm going to say. Yeah, didn't think you wanted to block there. So I'm still going to sack her again for this whole point. The flyer gets him for some more damage. What have you got going on? You got fetch up and planes. Just take damage. So if they use their white source to tire this tribe, they can't prismatic strands. So this is prismatic strands to put a strand in the graveyard. We do get in for 1 with the mercenary. Now, so I don't really care about unearthing any of these. Don't hugely care about the swamp either. I guess it means that we can pay for a spell pierce on a snuff out just by tapping 2 mana for the unearth. I'm going to keep the sage back as well. So you get your second white source, you get a red source. What's the red source doing? Is it doing haste? Walk time. So it's pretty tempting to try and snuff out this so that they can't strands. Again, I think it probably runs itself into a dispel, but at least we force them to use it. If they block here, they still are on for dying. So we don't have to give them a free insect token. Don't mind the trade as much. I think we do play out our infestation sage now. Do we? Why would it matter? I guess the thing is it doesn't. All it's doing in our hand is bluffing, and I'm not sure. They're not at a point where they really need to play around anything, or where they can afford to play around much. It looks like they're digging for another strand. I'm really confused by the red source. I'm guessing it's like a haste effect, but so at the risk of being preemptive, I'm gonna start wrapping it up and kind of talking about what I think about this deck or this build of this deck. Um, I oh, the white's coming out as a tribe. Let's not talk about what we think of this build of this deck. I don't know what the plan is. I don't know what card I'm worried about, which is either a very worrying sign or a very good sign. Oh, they can discard a prismatic strands. That's cool. Not play against tribe and donkeys. So they cycle this looking for a strands, right? I guess we can sack this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Did we sack the shambling ghast as well? I guess we sack this to make a blocker, just in case. It's damage neutral because of the mortician beetle. Quite punished by not sacking the infestation sage in the end step. I guess now we can keep the shambling ghast by sacking this. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 5. So if they have if they already had the strands, then we've been kind of played. Yeah, okay. So 3-2. I started saying about I was wrapping this up, and then I hadn't because I got confused by what's going on. I'm not sold on the Unearths making the deck that much more aggressive. I think what's making the deck that much more aggressive is playing a whole bunch of the extra 4 corrupted convictions. and I think that is a change for the better. I got into some longer games where like it would have been. It's really nice to have a reaping in the deck where you're like, you know, the board's kind of stalling out, but if I just, keep hold of a few spells, then I can jam a few in at the same turn, reaping, and at least stand a chance to draw back into it. I think if you are on Unearth, I'd be quite tempted by the Buzzard. Um, in our hands against mono white, it was never better than a Drowning Sorrow would have been, really. But if alternative instead of a bunch of Thraben Spectres, they'd have had a bunch of the 1/1s, then it would have been better. So um, never played Boggles, never really used the Curse Borders, didn't really play any creature decks in that sense. I think the Lystaffs make sense. Um, I think I'm probably gonna take some lessons from this in the additional corrupted convictions, um, and try and move back to trying to make makeshift munitions work. I think more my playstyle, I think, is not. I was gonna say not as tight. I'm less. I don't like playing very aggressive decks. I like being able to play a little bit slower, um, and kind of build an advantage rather than mulliganing heavily to try and find Carrion Feeder Mortician Beetle as the plan. Um, I think there's a chance that that is just worse, and actually what you want to do is play to the deck strengths, which are those starts, and the Unearth makes them better. Um, I'll see if I can find room in my sideboard for some Curse Borders, or even some Unearths, but maybe one of the Reapings. But again, I quite like Reaping, or that kind of Reaping type effect with munitions. It's all very mana hungry. Being conclusive, um, like having a whole bunch of draw effects. Unearth's supposed to be really good from the sideboard. We didn't really get to use the Accursed Borders. We don't think we really got to do the Unearth Mesmeric Fiend thing in a really meaningful way. Nested Shambler, Silver Lifestyle. I missed one opportunity to Mercenary as Shambler, but I think if I'm going back to trying to make munitions work, I'd really want that extra treasure. Awful. So now, never drew it. Wasn't awful. That's two now. And with that, let's end the video.